Well, good morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. It is 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time, and I'm just so excited that you decided to hang out with me today. Yep, I said I'm so excited that you decided to hang out with me for just a little while today anyway. Hey, y'all, it is Thursday. It's the last day of the month, people. It is Thursday, March 31st. 2022. Y'all, we made it. We made it. Now, depending upon where you live, I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, but now we had 73 in Columbus area yesterday, and then we had some crazy windstorm. It's still happening today, so hopefully you're even able to join in with us this morning. And then I heard something about some snow. I'm like, oh, I'm over it now. Snow was December, January, maybe February. But other than that, I am over it. So, Lay, when you're coming up in here, let me know where you are located and what's the weather like. So go ahead, y'all. Fill up the chat. Where are you located and what is the weather like? I see all of y'all coming up in here. Good morning, Cherie, Sardinia, Jeffrey Allen James, Diane Ladybug, Valerie. Good morning, Danielle, Adrian, Shirley. Good morning. Good morning, Kenny Stanley. I see you, Deborah Johnson. Good morning. So, yeah, y'all, let me know where you're located. Just say, hey, this is where I'm coming in from. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. Just say, hey, I'm coming in from this region, that region. This is what the weather is looking like. I see you, Marion Jackson. I see you, Regina Shorts. I see you, John Swan. Welcome back, buddy. I've been missing you. I've seen all the pictures of your beautiful wife. I think it's now y'all celebrated 1 year of marriage, right? So happy anniversary to you and to your lovely bride. Deborah Johnson saying, Ohio, warm and windy. Girl, that wind out there is crazy. I see you, Hester Jackson. John said it is cold, tornado watch. Wow. Okay, we want you to stay safe. You're in Tennessee or North Carolina, John. Diane Ladybug said, Phil doesn't predict the weather. Pay attention to the precipitation. Girl, I hear you. So yeah, John's in Tennessee. All right. Good morning, Latrice Jones. I see you. Kelly Lee. I see you. Let's see. Dr. Antoinette said, Maryland checking in. Chilly. It is chilly. Jeffrey Allen James said, don't just play around this cold. I see my brother coming up in here. Good morning to you. Virginia. Thank you, John. Virginia. I thought I was off, but yeah, Virginia. And Marion Jackson, Ohio. Listen, y'all, I had made the bomb dinner last night. I mean, seriously, I took my time. Now, I did the box pasta, but I did my time and did the pasta. And I followed this recipe that I was not using ground beef or ground turkey. I was using shrimp. Okay. It was smelling good. It was all that. And so, I was like, I'm going to wait till my hubby come in. So I'm not going to eat yet, although it was smelling good. So he called me and said he has to go to another meeting. He'll be in soon. I said, okay, no problem. Well, that's now means I have to heat it up. Y'all, we have all electric kitchen, right? I got up to go heat up the food. Y'all know what happened, right? All the electricity out. It stayed out until I believe 2:30 this morning. I said, you got to be joking me. So we ate it anyway. We ate it cold. We ate it by candlelight, and it was still good. But you got to do what you got to do. People ask me all the time, why don't y'all just get a generator? I said, listen, I believe that is just, I'm making it up. But for me, I believe that's just God's plan to say, it's time for you to be still. Time for you to have some conversation. It's time for you to be by yourself. You don't always have to have all the noise on. So I don't need a generator. I take those clues as a time to just chill, to shut it down. Sardinia said, Lorraine, Ohio, warm and windy. Leah, good morning. Pastor Alex, I don't even want to know what your weather's like. I don't even want to know. John Swan said, your power was out too. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, what is going on? I see you, Katrina. Good morning. If you're popping up in here, we were like, some people may not be able to tap in today because of these horrific windstorms that are happening. Hester says romantic, doesn't matter, hot or cold. Let me tell you, you just get a blanket. That's what I'm talking about. Yesterday, our guest notified me probably soon thereafter, Stop it with all that, Pastor Alex. Soon thereafter the show, and said that that's what was going on with her. Her phone had died, power went, whatever was happening there. So we're trying to figure out when we can fit her back in. With the news cycle, the way it's going, it's hard sometimes to maneuver, but we're going to do our best to get her on. So she does send her apologies for not being able to join us, but that is what happened with her on yesterday. All right, y'all, it's time for some headline news, and we also have a special segment that we want to share with you today. So let's get this news in motion. Yeah, y'all. I said this on, I believe it was Tuesday. Tuesday, I talked about the fact that there is spam texts that are happening. So, how many of you started receiving them? Because y'all heard it here first on News in Motion. How many of you started to receive them? Here's a couple of images we're going to pop up. This was mine, and I got another one last night or sometime when things came back on. And then there's one from The Verge, who actually is the one who reported it, that many customers on Verizon's had reported getting similar spam from their respective numbers over the last few days. So y'all, but this is what they're asking us to do. I see you, Kim Edmondson. They're saying, so what can be done in addition to offering various measures of spam protection? Verizon and other U.S. carriers encourage customers to forward their spam text to spam 7726. Spam 7726. Some people might have to pause about reporting spam. You know, you may be like, I don't know if I want to do this. That's the only way they're going to be able to track them and shut them down. Whatever you do, do not touch the click. Do not click on that link, y'all. Do not touch the click. Pastor Alex said he got one. He believed he got one yesterday. Hester said her cousin received that same spam text. Yep. Kenny said, Kelly Stanley. What's up, Kelly girl? Kelly Stanley. That's his beautiful bride, y'all. And by the way, she's not on here this morning. At least I don't think she is. But listen, y'all, you have to get her book. Kenny, if you can put her link in the thread. Women, this is March 31st. This is the last official day of Women's History Month. I have a special tribute for you at the end of the show, of this segment today. But listen, put your stuff in the link. Put your stuff in the link. I'm giving y'all a free pass. Put your stuff in the link. But y'all, Kelly's book. Redemption songs. Y'all want to get that book. And by the way, I published that book for her too. But y'all want to get her book. So Kenny, please find the link and put that in there. Y'all want to get that book. All right, y'all. So that's what's happening. So don't click on the link, but text the spam 7726. All right, y'all. Susan Collins on board. Hello, somebody. Susan Collins, y'all. Political reports along with everybody else reporting. And this image here is from WMTW.com image credit. Y'all, Senator Susan Collins, Republican from Maine, to vote to confirm Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first GOP senator to publicly back the Supreme Court nominee. Latrice Jones says, this dreary weather has me super sleepy. Me too. I'm just telling y'all right up. I see you, Rosanna. I see you. All right, y'all, here's an Oscar update. Y'all know that News in Motion has the privilege, and I'm going to call it a privilege, to receive press releases from the Academy. And this came out on yesterday evening. You may have already heard this by now, but this came out on yesterday evening. Oscar officials say Will Smith was asked to leave awards, but he refused after the incident on stage with Chris Rock. The committee is now considering disciplinary action. Plus, the Board of Governors, the Academy Board of Governors, met on yesterday evening to initiate disciplinary proceedings, get this out, Gail, proceedings against Will Smith for violations against the group standard of conduct. The Academy said disciplinary action for Will Smith could include suspension, expulsion, or other sanctions. I'm not going to belabor the point here. We've all seen it. I'm really tired of it. And I really wish all of us will stop forwarding the videos, the images, the memes, and so forth, because we're not just looking at Will Smith, we're also looking at Chris Rock and y'all, his family, his children, and other people are also seeing this. Now, I got to be honest, y'all, with Chris Rock, it's the silence for me, and silence is powerful. Do you hear me? Silence is powerful. John Swan said they better not take his award away, and he earned his award. I can't even argue that. I think he's a genius in that. But it's going to be interesting to see what's happening. All right, y'all, say what? Everybody say it from where you are right now. Say what? Oh, y'all, Pastor Alex said he highly recommends Davia Williams Stevenson's podcast. I approve that message, Pastor Alex. Seriously, y'all, it is free to download and subscribe and to share. That is free. Y'all need to pay attention. We need to start paying attention. Thank you, Pastor Alex. This is totally off script, but we need to start paying attention to the people in our circle of influence and the people in our families. Y'all, there's a lot of talent right here from the News in Motion family. And I call y'all family. There's a lot of talent right here. We want to go run to the movie theaters. We want to go run to Netflix and to Hulu and to all those other places when you have talent right here. You really do. I can't wait till we get to the place that we are supporting each other on that level. So thank you, Pastor Alex, for putting that out there. Again, y'all, say what? Y'all, this story is still unfolding, but CNET reports that the Meta, the parent company of Facebook, has reportedly hired a Republican consulting firm to run a media and lobbying campaign to really get at the root of their rival social media platform, TikTok. Yeah. As TikTok grows in popularity, now at more than 1 billion monthly active users, Meta is paying the GOP linked firm Targeted Victory to paint the short form video sharing app as dangerous and, they got in quotation marks, the real threat. This was also reported by the Washington Post on Wednesday, citing internal email. So, y'all, there's a lot that's going on there. Listen, you can find so much. If you go, now, I just said, and hear me, people who are making documentaries, who are putting them on Netflix, the reason they get on Netflix because people are downloading their information and subscribing to their YouTubes and to their podcasts. So there is a connection. We got to give kudos to Netflix for picking these people, these individual people up. But y'all, just go to some of the documentaries on Netflix. Serious, a good one. And I think Dr. Antoinette shared this before, Dark Money. Now you have to be able to handle it. But if you want to really see, and Vice.com and Vice News is also amazing. They get to the root of a lot of what's going on. So y'all, seriously. So even when, and thanks again, Pastor Alex, for putting that out there. Don't sleep on Davia. I'm telling y'all. And if you're wondering why I keep hyping her, I ain't hyping her. She don't need hype because she stands alone in her power. But I'm telling you, don't sleep on it. Sometime like in September or October or maybe sooner, when all of a sudden y'all start seeing her stuff, then you're going to want to get on board. Here's my question, people. Let me change what I'm going to say. Here's my question, Black people. Why don't we do it in the beginning? Why don't we do it in the beginning? Do y'all know when you celebrate somebody, your victory is right there too? Y'all, we got to get beyond all this other stuff. Seriously, we got to get to the root of why can't I share? Why can't I share the news? Hello, somebody. Why can't I share a podcast? Why can't I share somebody's book, somebody's painting, somebody's interior designing, somebody's jewelry business, somebody's consulting and coaching business? Why can't I share, for example, a nonprofit, Power 52 Foundation? Y'all, they got it going on in Baltimore and be more. Hello, somebody. We need to start doing that, y'all, on a more consistent and regular basis. Y'all start philanthropy. We talked about this. Philanthropy is huge, and this is our opportunity to highlight people and put them out there. You're right, John. Crabs in a barrel. Y'all, I met John. If I can just digress for a moment, it's Thursday. I can do what I want to. Y'all, I met John Swan. We were in some ministry event, I do believe. And there was just a connection. There was a connection. And, the connection was more like, I see you. Let's see how we can collaborate and partner. Let's keep having a conversation. Now, at that time, I don't think he was married. I was, of course. And so it was like, babe, I need you to meet John Swan because I'm going to be talking to him and hanging out with him. There needs to be a connection. And we kept that connection. John, it's been what, maybe 16, 17 years? Y'all, that happens. And because we have to be able to see each other for what they bring to the table and stop blocking what you see of other people because you're only focused on your stuff at the table. I think I just said something. So that's what's happening with Meta, with TikTok, and it's growing and things like that are happening. But don't forget the Nielsen report I said yesterday with the whole digital piece. Y'all, this is our season. This is our time. John said, yes, long time, for real. All right, y'all, I have a special segment that I want to get to. And I need y'all to walk with me on this, y'all. This is serious. More and more, as you will notice, I'm really headed there with the voting. I'm probably about 3 weeks too late. Not too late, 3 weeks late. But we're gonna pick up speed. We're gonna pick up speed. Y'all, poll workers. Hello, somebody, poll workers. Y'all, it's time for us to get to work. So let's talk about voting and serving as a poll worker. When I give y'all some of these numbers, you're going to probably fall off your chair. And if you're driving, just stay right there. Oh, I see Davia popped in here. What's up, girl? She says, Tales from the Shaker on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Listen, y'all, subscribe. Even if you subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Amazon or Stitcher or TuneIn or wherever, still go to the YouTube. Be in both places. Why? I'm trying to help her. She ain't asked me. She don't even know I'm doing this. I'm trying to help her boost up her YouTube address subscribers so that she can get that specific URL for her YouTube. Y'all, it's free. Just go in there and subscribe. Don't ask no questions. Just go and subscribe. All right, y'all. So listen, voting. Yesterday, one of our viewers, Adrian Gladys, received this text message. It read, Franklin County Board of Elections. She lives in Columbus. Well, she lives in Bexley, Ohio. So in Franklin County, she says, her text message says, our records show you are a current or prospective poll worker. We have a critical is in all caps, need for over, y'all ready for this? For over 800 poll workers to work the May 3rd primary. Please call. And if you are in Franklin County and you want this, here's the number. And Isaiah, I didn't put this in a banner, so I don't know if you can pull this up or not. Please call 614-525 5393. Again, that's 614-525-5393 if you are able to help fill this urgent need. And then it goes on and says, we look forward to working with you during this critical election in Ohio. Now, y'all, that's Ohio, 800. Because I went looking. As soon as she sent me the text message I went looking. Where are they targeting to close all these polling locations? You guessed it. But not only in the Black and brown communities, but in the marginalized communities, the communities where there are elderly and they can't get around. And, they're already having a problem with wanting to send absentee ballots out. Y'all, all of these dots are connected, but today I want to focus on poll workers. Y'all, if you have any community service or civic engagement inside of you, and if you really understand what it's going to take to make this work, y'all, May 3rd is just down the road, okay? To make this work, guess what? They need 800 poll workers. That's Ohio. So I went digging in some other places. North Carolina needs over 500 poll workers. Yeah, Maryland needs over 600 poll workers. I want y'all to hear these numbers. Yeah. California, they need 1,019 poll workers. Yeah. So that's just a few. And you can go to your site, to your Secretary of State site, and see, put in poll worker to see what's needed. Okay. Yes, yes. Thank you, Isaiah. Here it is. Help out your community. Become a poll worker. Become a poll worker. All right, y'all. Listen, young people, and I know y'all tuning in from high schools all over. I'm not going to sit here and call you all out, but young people, go to pollhero.org. Pollhero.org. All right, y'all. The Poll Hero Project was founded by a group of Princeton University students, Denver East High School students, and a University of Chicago Booth School of Business graduate who care deeply about democracy and nonpartisanship. Now, y'all, these things came up in the 2020 elections, and it came up because because of COVID, we were in the height of COVID, and because so many people they're normally 61 years old or older. So these students came together and said, we need to do something. We need to do something. So for all the high school students that are tuning in today, listen, here's your opportunity if you're looking for some community service hours to sign up. Again, that is pollhero.org. Pollhero.org. I was looking at some information last night before my electricity went out. I was looking for some information last night, and I believe you have to be at least 16. I believe you have to be at least 16 and have permission from both your parents and who's ever the teacher or the instructor that's signing your community service information. So now y'all need to go to eac.gov. Yeah. Poll workers, as y'all know, again, have been traditionally, I can't even talk today, over the age of 61, making them especially vulnerable to complications if they contracted COVID. Okay, poll workers are critical to the success of the election. I need y'all to hear that. Poll workers are critical to the success of the election. Having an adequate number of poll workers to staff polling places on and before Election Day can ensure voters receive the assistance they need at the polls. Now, by signing up, excuse me, to be a poll worker, you can also help the Help America Vote Act. So now, specific duties, just so that you know, you're like, well, what's all involved? Do I do all this, y'all? Specific duties. And I just really just like that thing flew off the page. I have no idea, but at least I know it, so I'm gonna talk about it. Specific duties help people understand, when they come in the door, forming the line, seeing if they need anything, making sure they have the proper identification, making sure they're at the right polling location. They're also looking at their ID. Thank you so much for bringing that back to me. They might have specific compensation depending upon location. Poll workers are the face of the election office during voting. Now, most places, the election workers in setting up and preparing the polling locations are other duties: welcoming voters, verifying voter registration, issuing ballots. Poll workers also help ensure voters understand the voting process by demonstrating how to use voting equipment and explaining voting procedures. So you're really just being that person, being that advocate. And, I'm always partnering with people. We have a short video to share with you.
Ready to help America vote? Working the polls on Election Day is a great way to strengthen our democracy right in your own community. Poll workers set up polling places, check in voters, and answer questions, and show us how to use voting machines. It's important. Any voter can file an application to become a poll worker, and most poll workers get paid. Because right now, America needs more election workers to volunteer. Learn more at helpamericavote.gov.
Yeah, you can go there. And I see you, John Swan. He said, how do we sign up to work polls? You can go to eac.gov. I think there's a banner in there as well, eac.gov. You can also go to the one that was just in the video, helpamerica.org, I believe is how it came out. Poll Hero, that specific one is designated for the younger people. Now, why is this important and why am I talking about it? One, those numbers are outrageous. Number two, the status of the congressional redistricting is scary. Yeah. So I want you to look at this whole ballotpedia.org redistricting banner that is up there. As of March the 29th, 2022, y'all, this was just 2 days ago. I want y'all to hear this. As of March 29th, 2022, 38 states have adopted congressional district maps. And you can go to that link, and we'll try to put the link in here so you can click it as well. But if you have some great hands or great eyes and you can carry it and put it over there, please put it in the thread. I'm sharing this information because I want you to go to your state and click on your state to see the information, to see the mapping. Now, one state's map has been overturned by court action, and 5 states have not yet adopted congressional redistricting plans after the 2020 census. 6 states and 1 U.S. House district still have no congressional redistricting, and they're saying it's not required. But congressional redistricting has been completed for 377 of the 435 seats. I need y'all to hear that. I'm begging y'all to hear this. Congressional redistricting has been completed for 377 of the 435 seats. Y'all, that's 86.7% in the House of Representatives. I think I need to read that one more time. Congressional redistricting has been completed for 377 of the 435 seats. Now, remember, there are 440 new voting bills. I need y'all to hear that. Please go to your Secretary of State's website or go to Ballotpedia, go to the links that we've been sharing with you. And we'll do a post sometime today with all the links. I think it's that important that we take the time to do that because this is what we do. But listen, know what the rules are. Know what they want you to show them at the polling locations. Know your new polling district, and make sure you have not been erased from the roster. Yeah, make sure. Now, advocates are needed at the polls. Now, there's rules that you cannot be within so many feet, and now they're pushing that back even further. But I want to spend a little bit of time today, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time, and I want to talk about the relationship between a poll worker and the National Federation of the Blind. And we're going to dig more into this. We're waiting on someone to respond to us to say if they'd be able to join us here. These are the types of interviews we're going to start sharing. We're going to still do some of the others, but this is that important to me. Y'all know how much I love politics and voting and voter education, so I have to take the time to share this. Now, the National Federation of the Blind, they were founded in 1940, and you also hear NFB. It's the nation's largest and most influential membership organization of blind persons. Now, with 50,000 members, the NFB has affiliates in all 50 states, plus Washington, D.C., and in Puerto Rico. Saying that, they have been asking poll workers to make sure they are making their places user-friendly for those who are blind. So here are 3 key aspects to preparing poll workers. So as you're thinking about it, if you know you want to advocate and you know you want to help, these are 3 areas. Poll workers must have knowledge of the voting technology for the blind. So y'all, Google is your friend. YouTube, go and find out what that looks like. There are trainings out there as well, and it's best to do this now. That's why I'm sharing it today, than to wait, because you want to have all the training you need. The other thing they say, poll workers must understand the user interface and must be able to troubleshoot problems and enable speech if necessary, which means if you have, and let me stop right here. The Help America Vote Act, there's an act there, and I believe I shared this back in 2020, that there should be designated spaces and special machines for different people who have disabilities, whatever those disabilities may be, seen or unseen. Okay, so we also need to make sure. So if you are a poll worker in an area, you have that voice and that advocacy to make sure these things are happening. So you have to be able to troubleshoot and then enable speech. So you know the machines, and when you see a blind person, make sure you're getting them to those machines or to that private area to vote. Number 3, poll workers must learn how to deal directly with the blind voter. Now, I have a few things that I'm going to share with you. Then I'm going to give you a link where you can read all this on your own. A blind person, these are things that were shared by blind people during a survey. This one says, I'm an ordinary person, just blind. You don't need to raise your voice or address me as if I were a child. Don't ask my spouse questions about what I want or need. Ask me directly. So see, y'all, advocate who knows that and who have experienced that, you're needed at the polling locations and to understand what a blind person may or may not need or what they're asking for. Another thing came in from a survey, says don't avoid words like see, and they go on and say I use them too. I'm always glad to see you. They said don't be afraid, don't be intimidated, don't be uncomfortable. Another one says I use a long white cane or guide dog for travel. Please do not feel that it is necessary to move things out of my way. If I am using a cane, I do not grab it. Likewise, if I'm using a dog, please do not speak or pet to the dog without first asking my permission. So y'all, again, classes in session. I think these things are important. And I want to say that here on News in Motion, we respect the blind person, the blind people. We respect what you're asking for. And I'm going to do my darnest to make sure that advocates are in polling locations throughout the U.S. to serve you well. This hit me when I was going through this, reading this. Another one says, if we are walking together, you are welcome to offer me your arm. However, do not grab my arm. Let me take yours. I'll keep a half step behind to anticipate curbs and steps. Another one from this, another piece of information from the survey. If there is something that I need to do, please provide me with directions or information rather than simply doing it for me without telling me that you're doing it. Another person that came in the survey says, I don't want pity, but don't talk about the wonderful compensations of blindness. My sense of smell, touch, or hearing did not improve when I became blind. I rely on them more and more, therefore may get more information through those senses than you do. They said, just understand this. Another survey response. I'll discuss blindness with you if you are curious, but it's an old story to me. I am a part of our community, and I have as many other interests as you do. Another, don't think of me just as a blind person. I am a person who happens to be blind. And then one more, and there's others. I'm gonna give you the link to another one says, do not perform disability simulations for me. If not done properly, they send a negative message. So y'all, to find out more about your local NFB affiliate, visit the state and local organization page at www.nfb.org. So y'all, I thought it was so important to share this. So as you are considering becoming a poll worker, understand there's all types of people from all walks of life that are coming. This is a great response from a survey from the NFB, but just think about other people, other conditions, other disabilities. But y'all, hear me. Advocates are needed at the polls, and the best place to be able to use your voice is to be a poll worker, to be inside, and to possibly help educate other poll workers who did not do as much research as you have done. Okay. All right. So y'all, thank you for indulging me with that. Now, shout out to all women. Shout out to all women. I want y'all to enjoy this last day of the official Women's History Month and allow this day to be a launch pad of great things to come throughout this year. Y'all, it doesn't end today. This is just the beginning. Y'all, all month I've been very open with women posting in the thread. Continue to post in the thread. Even if later on you're watching the replay, continue to post in this thread right here. If you're watching or tuning in by audio, some of you have been asking, where do we see it? You go to our News in Motion Facebook page. That's where the majority of the chats are. Sometimes you can catch some chats in LinkedIn and also on my YouTube, but the majority of the chat would be in Facebook, which is www.facebook.com/news in motion. Y'all, before we leave and before I get to the inspirational message, I want to show you this Women's History Month video one more time. Yes, we do honor you. And I pray that you have been getting a lot of response from people purchasing your products, buying your coaching, downloading and sharing any of your offerings that you have, your books, your dance, your interior design, podcasts, jewelry, coaching, whatever it is. I want you to soar, and I want you to not only double your profit, but quadruple your profit in the next 3 months. Hello, somebody. That's what I think. All right, y'all. Patreon has started to transition from the News in Motion brand to the Gail Dudley brand. I was sharing with someone the other day, I guess it was right before I went and had that procedure. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, I consider her a good friend. I said, I just don't want News in Motion. I just don't want News in Motion to become Gail Dudley. And that's from all anxiety and everything else. Y'all, News in Motion is Gail Dudley. And she just kind of like brushed me off like, girl, please. And she may not know I heard her, but I heard her through that text message like, okay, we'll talk about that later. So it is. So we just incorporated some of this information up there now. When we got access yesterday about 5 p.m., we started putting things up there. It's not complete. It is not complete. Hopefully we'll have it all completed by this afternoon. But there are 4 tiers. These tiers come directly from my website, People, Prayer, Politics, and then the podcast. So People, Prayer, Politics, and the podcast. Up there in the tiers, because it goes in the amount of the tier, is listed as Prayer, People, Politics, and the podcast. Now, the one that stands alone for the most part is the tier for politics. That's like a standalone tier. A whole lot's going to be coming out of that particular tier. That tier does not feed in. That tier will not pick up what's in the podcast. But if you go to the podcast tier, that will pick up the political tier. Everything that's in the first 2 tiers are in the 3rd and 4th tier. You just have to look at it. It might be worded differently, but it is there. We have work to do. So the political tier will probably get the most play. I'm just being honest with you, especially this year and in this season. Now, the podcast will have the similar play. Now, the one for prayer, that's what's going to be that focus. You'll get some downloads and informations of other things. The one for people, we're going to have a great time in that tier as well. But if you want a lot of action, the political, that's who I am. Y'all, I had to make that one the standalone. The politics tier or the news and the podcast tier. The podcast, which y'all know has been News in Motion podcast. It was one time something in Mimosas. We had to keep fine tuning it. Well, it's going to stay the NIM podcast, but we're adding the words reasons why. we're going to add that to it as well. So a lot to come. It's still being worked out. If you have not, we saw many of you did delete your account. If you want to come back, great. If not, if you're saying so long, thank you again for your support over the last several months. I appreciate you and thank you. And I understand some people may not join back, and that is okay because you're looking at now saying, I don't think I want that. That is completely fine. I still love you. I thank you for your support and all that good stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, y'all, inspirational message, and we're out of here. Press. Inspirational message is press. I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Yes, I went King James on you all. That's the way I love this particular scripture. That's out of Philippians chapter 3, verse 14. Press. Y'all, for many of us, we're starting to feel that we're getting close to a wall, and we're feeling like, oh, am I at the place of being stuck, and I'm drained and I'm burned out and I'm tired. It's the time to press. It's the time to press. I was looking at the calendar, and I looked at this week, and I looked at last week, and I was looking at all the news that was unfolding and everything we're dealing with. And I'm still, although I'm not talking about Ukraine as much because it was becoming too heavy on me, I'm still seeing all these images that I will never share with you here. All these images, I'm seeing so much. And I was like, I'm hitting that place of burnout. I think I told y'all that earlier this week. Next week I'm here, but then the following week will be all fresh videos, but it's all inspirational messages being recorded. It's going to be a full week. It will take you even to Good Friday, which is the 15th. So I can't wait. And I was like, even this morning, God, give me everything I need to press through all next week. God, help me press through. Y'all, and that's where I think many of us are. We're excited. We see the new things. It's fresh. It's spring. At least it's supposed to be spring. All these great things are coming, but we're tired. We're fatigued. We can feel it in our body that we're hitting that point of burnout. I'm here to tell you that this is a time to press. Those of us who have been going through Lent, I think we're on day 9. We're almost there, y'all. I think we're on day 9. Keep pressing. But what Dr. Washington and others said in the thread on yesterday, a fast doesn't just end on Easter. Your life should be changing. There should be a greater intimacy with God. There should be a greater awareness with you, your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, and everything that's going on with you. There should be there should be some supernatural seeing and strength that's coming along with that. And with all of that, we grieve. I was reading out of the 40 Days of Decrease yesterday. I know I'm doing 2 books, the 40 Days of Decrease by Cho and the 40-Day Sugar Fast by Wendy Speak. But in the 40 Days of Decrease, and I know it's time, if you got to go, that's cool. I get it, but I can't stop here. The 40 Days of Decrease, it talked about when Jesus went into the garden to pray, and he had left 8 outside the garden. He took his posse, Peter, James, and John, and went into the garden to pray. And he said, just wait right here. But they went to sleep. They went to sleep. And, I've read that, and Cho showed me something differently here. He went out and he looked like, y'all sleep. I almost said something there. Y'all are asleep. I know we're always saying it, right? Y'all are asleep. And what Cho pulled out, and then all these different Hebrew and Greek words, what she pulled out was they weren't necessarily asleep because they didn't care. They were fatigued. They were grieved. They didn't know what was about to happen. And y'all, that's what happens. Jesus, he was like, if you can, just pass this cup from me. But God, his father wasn't doing that. He had to go through what he had to go through. Now, I know we're not Jesus, but y'all, we have to go through what we have to go through. And even though we see the excitement and we see the outcome and we can visualize it, we have a vision, we have clarity, we have understanding, but we're like, do I have to go through it this way? And then we find ourselves depleted. We find ourselves fatigued. We find ourselves ready to give up. We find ourselves, we're working on things. There's errors, there's glitches, there's things that's happening, and you want to throw in the towel. No, this is where you press. This is where you press towards the prize of the high calling. This is where you press. The moment you think you're ready to give up, this is the point that you press. And let me tell y'all, it's worth it. It's worth the pressing. It's worth the pressing, because when you come out of that thing, there's the biggest sigh you let out. There's the rejoicing that takes place. You may even go to sleep for 24 hours. But when you come up out of that slumber, it's a new day. It's a new season, y'all. And as I said to you earlier this week, it's a new level. And guess what? I'm here to tell you, you're ready for it. Yeah, you're ready for it. Uh-huh. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. Y'all, you're ready for it. And I'm ready to see you bloom. I'm ready to see you blossom. I'm here for it. And I want you to know I will be your cheerleader. All right, y'all. Y'all stay safe out there. Remember to make some bold moves. Y'all get ready to press because it's about to come forth. And I mean, it's going to be an abundance that pours on to you. All right, y'all. Until Monday, I'm out.